What's going on, guys? I know you guys been anticipating and waiting for another video. We have big news that we're gonna be diving into. First, let me go ahead and start saying that 1, we have a shop. 2, we have collaborated with a very, very good company. And 3, we are gonna be going to SEMA. So if you guys are at SEMA, look out for us because we're gonna be at the Buff and Shine booth. Going to go ahead and demonstrate the pads and see how they work, and there are going to be some new releases that have not been talked about, so stay tuned for that. Other than that, I would want to go ahead and say thank you guys for always going ahead and supporting us. I already had mentioned about the t-shirts and the hats. Those are going to be en route very shortly. Me and Aaron have finally finalized the final renderings of exactly how we want them, so stay tuned for exactly when we're going to post that up. But let's go ahead and start with the van. So first, I know it's been a very long time, haven't talked about it, but a lot of guys ask us, hey, what's the setup, or what do you have in there, what's this and what's that? First and foremost, I have a 2022 Mercedes Metris. This thing is the extended wheelbase, so it is a 135 base, and the original one is a 126. Which I think I am going to be upgrading to near the near future for my other guys, because this has a lot more space, which when you're running mobile, if you can go ahead and optimize as much as you can, that's going to be the best deal for you guys. Right here, we kind of use this as kind of, refill for supplies, or if we're going to be doing a big job, I can throw the extractor in there and, more tools can fit in here. So let's jump into it. We got in this corner, we have a 3-step ladder. I typically was running a 2-step, but I noticed, hey, if I can fit a 3-step in here, why not? Because, another foot or 2 of clearance definitely does help on, big monster trucks. Then we got Milwaukee's. I have 2 of them, but I just have the other one outside. All right, so we have the Milwaukee lights. What I love about it is that the fact that portable, so I don't necessarily have to have it hooked up to an outlet. It actually runs on its own power. So if I need it to be longevity-wise, stationary, and I do have an outlet, I just like to go ahead and hook it up so that I don't have to run this battery and charge it up again. So that's that. Front and center, we have 2 buckets. And these 2 buckets, if we go ahead and get a little closer here, we have our full 360 in here. Here, let me undo this for you guys. Our full 360 grit guard here. This right here is going to go ahead and be the best way, in my opinion, to go ahead and thoroughly wash a vehicle. Now, some people may ask, do I run multiple wash mitts, or do you have a rinse bucket? I personally don't have a rinse bucket personally, but at the shop, sometimes I do. It's just preference, in my opinion. If I thoroughly foam it down and I rinse it prior and I do some proper methods, I don't see the reasoning for it, because I personally, once I'm washing a vehicle, I rinse down the actual pad before I put it in here. So essentially that's the step of the rinse. So instead of having 3 buckets, I just have 2. So that's this, roll around, and then we have some outer fiber pads, and then we have I haven't opened them up yet, but they are these. These are the Shine Supply ones. Shout out to Shine Supply, because right now we're going to be getting tuned to exactly what this is all about also. But this is what I rock, or the outer fiber ones. These are both phenomenal. And actually, these are from outer fiber. They're just a collab with Shine Supply. Then we got in here our bad boy right here. This is our wheel bucket. Now, one key thing that I would always want to go ahead and say to you guys is to always clean your buckets. Right here, this is just wear and tear, but overall, clean the buckets every single time you guys are going ahead and detailing. 1 is for professionalism, and 2 is for the actual quality of your brushes. If you go ahead and rinse them down, you clean your buckets, they last a little longer. And I would say 3rd is you actually have more of a cleaner surface. 3rd, I would say you have a clean start. So if you have a lot of dirt build up exactly underneath it, there's going to be a lot of it coming up once in a while. So those three things I personally would say to go ahead and make sure you stay on top of these. I have Wise Guy. So let me go to backstory from this. So quick backstory. Before we start entering everything else in the back half, we are proudly partnered with Shine Supply. They're going to be going ahead and being all in the shop, all in our vans from here on forward. Now, we will be using certain other products, but the 99% of what's going to be in this van is Shine Supply. One, I would say they have great products. Two, I would say definitely it's good friends. And three, I would just say I personally love them because they have such high standards and they actually test them while they're working and they use them while they're working also. So it's like, what brand do you really know that actually uses them and puts them to the test more than Shine Supply? So we have Wise Guy for the wheels and tires. Then we have Cool Guy for all those AMGs, BMWs, Porsches, Ferraris that we've been doing. This right here gets a lot of that brake dust, heavy on brake dust, broken down a lot faster, so that way we don't have to go ahead and run around and spraying some acid. But sometimes we might have to, but we just try to stay away from that. These two are essential in my bucket. Then, don't mind this dirty towel, but this is a prime example of what we use to scrub our towels. So if you see this, right, this has technically already been washed, but on this other half right here is where you pretty much scrub and you take off all that dirt, that grime, that tire shine that's built up, and you can see clearly this hasn't been used and this has been used. So I personally love that because I feel like with a brush, you're kind of just smearing it around. Yes, you're taking some off, but you're actually gonna be thoroughly taking it off with the towel. Once it's all black, you're gonna go ahead and want to just get rid of this or wash it, but I wouldn't want to go ahead and throw this in a washing machine. I'll just get rid of it. That's that. I'm about to show you guys some of the brushes that we got up in here. Again, we have a buckenizer on the wash bucket and the wheel bucket. This right here hangs onto the side. A lot easier to go ahead and distinguish what brushes you need. They're all right here instead of floating around trying to go ahead and see which one you need. It's all right here, and it has drain, so that way it can drain some of the dirt, some of the water that you don't need. So first and foremost, this is the Easy Detail brush. This right here is the essential thing that cleans all the inside of the wheelbarrows. So if you see our pictures, zoom into those wheels, they are going to be spotless because I am very OCD when it comes down to making sure all of our clients have deep wheel cleaning or the calipers are dialed in, because to me, a thoroughly detailed vehicle that has the wheels cleaned in all the way in the back, that right there is how I present them afterwards, and I feel like that's just the standard. Now, that's the Easy Detail brush. Now, we do have the smaller one of this, but I don't have it on hand right now. I have the big Easy Detail brush right here. This one is going to go ahead and be for your fender liners, fender wells, and you can use this for the engine also. We have the Viking brush right here. These are a new addition to the actual family here of tools that I have here. These right here are going to be using more personally for me truck beds, the actual back half when I go ahead and foam all that stuff. This is the big one I would go ahead and use. You can use them for the engines, you can use them for the faces of the wheels. This small one, you want to use it for the face of the wheel, but I personally use them more for other things like carpet, rubber carpets, beds, and engine bays, stuff like that. Then we have, I don't know exactly what brush this is called, but this one specifically is going to be go ahead and used for our lug nuts, calipers, and small areas in the engine bay. This bad boy is in the wheel woolly kit. I have the other wheel ones, but I don't use them in here no more. But this one's gonna go ahead and be used for the little strips that are on the side of the actual fender wells that are painted. This is exactly what I'd use. And the last but not least, the favorite of the bunch here is the Max Shine wheel mitts. I believe that's what they're called here. These right here is what I use for the face of the wheels. And this right here I can go ahead and use also if I need to do the engine also sometimes, but I personally just use these for the face of the wheel. They work flawlessly. So these are like 10 bucks. I would definitely recommend everyone to get these at least. But that wraps up this half. we have a rigid quiet compressor right here. It's a dual tank, has a 200 psi, and this thing, for the most part, runs around with some good air, good flow, recharges rather sooner than I would like, but it's small, so can't expect it to go ahead and have saved up a lot of air. It's just two little tanks. But that's that. We have our vacuum aid. That right there is going to go ahead and be the best vacuum, in my opinion, when you're going to have running mobile or anything like that, even shop stuff. That thing right there, there's no interior that you cannot go ahead and tackle with that vacuum, for sure. So let's go ahead and have Aaron look this up a little bit more on this side. So right here on this section, we have our safety cones. I have 3 of them. I typically go ahead and run one in the back of our van, one in the middle in between the car and our van, and then the farthest one is going to go ahead and be in the back of their vehicle. So safety's first, guys. So I know a lot of people, you guys, for the most part on here are mobile guys, so definitely pick these up, guys. But what I have on here are 3 12-gauge extensions. These things are a lot better than your standard like 16, 18 gauge, just for the fact that they're gonna have a lot more current, so none of our equipment is gonna go ahead and bog down and blow out a little circuit. That's that. We have our flex tool. This right here. These are our flex tools. These are a new addition to a lot of the guys that had seen the prior video of ours. This is our new addition. This is a 3-inch that goes down to a 2 and a 1-inch. This is our XFE 150. This thing right here is a 15 millimeter throw, and works good. I personally love them because one, there's no cords, and it gives me a lot of more versatility with it as far as movement goes, because I can go up, down, side, side, and not worry about any cords, having it hit something else. And these work great with the edge guard pads. So go ahead and put these back. All right, guys, and then right here in this section, we have our mid on a stick. This right here is going to be going and using for the RVs, boats, even the big trucks that we can get in the roofs, big sprinters. This is what I have right here. On the back half, right here, we have another root beds polisher. This is our OG one. This one has been wrapped. Shout out to House of Stickers. He's no longer wrapping anymore, but this right here has been wrapped with him, so it's a one-off, and I don't think too many people have even wrapped these things because they're so hard to. But yeah, this one-off. Then we have our right here. This is our undercarriage pressure washer system. So this right here, you can go ahead and put with a couple of extensions, dial in the undercarriage, which a lot of people go ahead and go underneath and start spraying it. This right here, you just roll it underneath, get it all done. That's that. We have an extra little foam cannon down there, nothing too crazy. Right here we have our metal polishes, we have our paint polishes, sealants, and then right here we have our paint prep. Then we have our cruise, we have clutch. This right here, guys, I got to show you this. This is the Greedo's garage, and I put clutch inside of here. It is for air, so you go ahead and purge it up, and then you go ahead and have a very fine mist. And this right here, I personally use for a lot of the undercarriages, use for the engines, so all this stuff can go ahead and get the nice, beautiful sauce. Glass cleaner, and again, another glass polish right here, because we got to go ahead and make sure not only does the rims, paint, engine, everything look dialed in, you can't forget the glass. You got to go ahead and shine that up. Shout out to Keith for always instilling that in all his training classes. Polishing glass is just the last little thing that most people forget. There might be some little, specks in there. There might be a little bit of water spots, and you might not see it. But when you hit those things, that glass is going to be glistening. But that pretty much wraps it up from here. Actually, right before I wrap it up, I'm going to mention the last little thing that is most important. I have a Krenzel. A Krenzel is what I use mainly, day-to-day stuff. Always go ahead and use that because it's quiet, and I'm always going to be in neighborhoods or always going ahead and going in areas where it's a lot quieter, so I don't want to make too much noise. Alongside that, it's a 100-foot 12-gauge extension cord, just in case I need to be a little farther. Then we have our Milwaukee power tools. So this is what I use to go ahead and do the carpets, debadging of stuff like that. So that way there's no issues as far as tools go. And then we have our little gas, because we have a gas pressure washer also. And then right here, a 100-gallon water tank that is covered, so that way you guys can't see it, but I personally like it because it's just all diamond plated. And then we have a LED strip underneath, so I can know exactly where the water is without having to see exactly the top or the side of it. Now, for the last part that we got in here, we got Punch It. This is the ceramic spray. Ideally, go ahead and use this more in the indoors, because if not, outside it's going to be streaky up. Then we have our whole shot from Shine Supply. We have our shift. This is all Shine Supply stuff. Then we have our classy chassis. And then we have just a few other little things, miscellaneous things like Fresh Up by Coach Kemi. We have our Essence Plus from Car Pro. This is going to go ahead and be like a primer polish to go ahead and remove some of the imperfections without removing the ceramic coating. That's that. And then last but not least, we have right here our thank you mats right here. So that way we go ahead and display it once we're done. You go ahead and put it in there. They're not going to be stepping on their carpets that are just freshly cleaned. And it looks a lot more professional. So let's move on to the back. All right, guys. So on this side of the actual door, we have our carpet cleaner. We have our leather cleaner, Clean and Shine, Shine Mist, and our water. Then we have our brushes. We have our handy dandy detail guards. This is what you go ahead and put on the bottom of the corner of the tires. This right here is going to save you from dragging the hose and get it stuck. This is going to just slide right through. And my favorite, this piece right here, it's empty right now because we're filming right now after hours. But this right here is always typically filled, and I felt so good with the first time I ever got the van back. And I was like, man, I can't wait until I go ahead and like have all this filled up with keys. And at one point, I should probably pull it up and show it to you guys, but I had every single one of these filled up with a specific car, and it was like some high-end cars, and I just felt so good to even like have it utilized. But yeah, this is this door. Let's go ahead and go to the other door before we start doing the main door. Let's go ahead and go to the other door before we go to the main juicy part right here. All right, in this side, we have decked out our tire shine. We have AC also. We have wet coat for the quick wheel application that I personally use. I don't really use it for the paint, but some people do. I just don't really use it for the paint. I use it for the wheels. This is XPC3. This is our I would say in the sun detail spray. This thing right here does not streak, does not do anything. Also one of my favorites, Ride Shine from Shine Supply. Then we got Smooth Move or Iron Decon. Then we have O&R and this IK sprayer. Then we have Pearl for just our buckets. So our wheel buckets, that right there gets 2 ounces of that. Then we have Whole Shot that was inside the van that I personally go ahead and use just for the foam cannons and for the paint bucket. And then we have Throttle for more of our wraps, the mats, and just a pure detail spray with no additives. Then we have Solution for the lower halves. We have it diluted 10:1 for the lower halves, the rocker panels and stuff like that. Then we have Bug Off. Those bugs be bugging, so we gotta go ahead and remove those things. And then we have Whole Shot. This is what I use for the engine bays and for the pre-rinses on any UTVs, ATVs, or the off-road vehicles that get mudded. So that's what I use. Then we have our trusty handy dandy acid. This has been on reserve as of right now because we don't need to be spraying too many heavy degreasing on any of these cars that we've been doing. And just when you guys thought I was gonna go ahead and do the main juicy part of the back, we're gonna move on to this last piece right here. Before we go back there, right here, we have all our drying towels. We use a lot of the auto fiber and Geon towels. Then in this top crate, we have all of our ceramics. We have all of our applicator pads, and we have some of the sanding, like 3,000, 5,000, 8,000 grits. And then in the back of that, we have just a couple jackets that we have stored just in case we need we get a little cold. So we have that, and then we have our polishers. We have our rotaries, we have our 5-inch. So we still have our manual ones that we plug into the wall, and then we still have the flex, just so I go have some versatility because these are gonna have a little bit more power. And then right here in this bad boy, we have all of our pads specifically spaced out. Shout out to Buff and Shine, shout out to Richard, shout out to Riley. They are the utmost, most humblest people that I know, and they show me so much love that I just can't say it enough. Thank you guys. But yeah, Buff and Shine guys, if you guys are not on that stuff, the best pads in the world, and I personally mean it. So if you guys do go ahead and buy stuff from them, and you go ahead and happen to see Richard or Riley, tell them MJ sent you. Be greatly appreciated if you guys do. Then in the back, I don't want to pull it out right now for you guys because it's going to be a whole lot going on. But for right there and that one, we have all of our like little essential things. We have little brushes, we have tape, we have like a bug scrub. We have just like a little essential things that I know down the road we might need, like little toothpicks, like little things. But that wraps up that. Then we have all of our scan grip lights right here. This right here is what I use for a lot of the on-the-go lights. Scan grips are perfect. Then we have our shop towel right here, blue ones. A little water just in case of emergency. We always kind of have, me and whoever's rolling with me, we have our water, but this is just in case we both run out or someone runs out and needs a little bit of water. We use just for safety. Then we have our gloves. These is our handy dandy little section of gloves. And then in the back half, we have a portable Max Shine 1-inch polisher, or like I would say like a mini polisher. That's the little handheld one. Haven't really been using that one too much just because we haven't been doing too many 1-inch, but that's that. Fire extinguisher right here, and we have a, I think it's a Lifetime 4-foot table, and that's what I go ahead and use to pull out, so that way we're going to put the carpets right on top and then start doing our line work. Oh, and that's where I forgot. We have the Viking brush also. Those things are what has been selling out, and we've been very notorious on that. We hit 1 million views on TikTok and close to almost 1 million on Instagram. That Viking brush. If you guys are watching this, we need a sponsorship because we've been selling you guys out. Let me close this off because I want to show you guys this right here. This right here, to me, is like the bread and butter of the whole wrap. But this right here is all wrapped up in chrome, and I just love the whole fading effect. Shout out to Will, shout out to Matthew that went ahead and did all this, graphic designing and actually installing it for me. And I think Josh was in there. Shout out to the guys over there that went ahead and did this for me. Every van and everything that is going to be a part of our team now. It's going to be wrapped, and it's going to be a signature wrap because these things are just sick. But now let's go to the juicy part and let's go to the bag. All right, guys, now for the holy grail, the moment you guys all been waiting for, shipping. This right here is gonna go ahead and be the top half where we have a lot of our towels. We have some of our little outlet extensions right here like this, the rigid ones. We have right here, I'm going to show you guys our extension, our extendo for our brush washing gun. We have a couple of the little arsenal guns right here. This bad boy, little Torador. Go ahead and knock off all that sand and all that stuff in there. This right here, I don't know what company is this. Things like SGCB. This right here, shout out to Vic at Mjdetail Supply. They have these. These things right here are perfect. Then we have a couple of versatility stuff here that I personally love. Show you guys. It's all like stored away. It's crazy. Lily brush. We have a Detail Factory brush, and we have a, I believe this is called a aniline, something like that. I don't know what it is called specifically, but these are all our pet hair removals. So one of these are gonna work, and some of these don't work at certain times. So we have 3 of them. Then we have on the corner right here, we have our measuring cup. This is right here from Max Shine. This right here is going to go ahead and demonstrate exactly how much you need of milliliters, or I believe all in milliliters. That's going to go ahead and show you to break it down for you. Then we have our foam cannons. We have our Pro Choice foam cannon that I love. It's just all clear. That thing is super sick. Then we have our standard MTM foam cannon. And then I don't have it on here, but we have it in the shop. The MJJC 3.0 foam cannon. Those three all are good. Personally, I would say that it just, you know, having the right amount of soap and having a good pressure that does a lot of that foaming action. So not necessarily specifically, like if you're already in this top tier of foam cannons, you don't really have to kind of worry about which one's gonna foam or not. It's just a matter of how much soap is in there. So be mindful of that. Then we have Cox drills right here. This is a one-off. I don't know exactly what brand this is in, but this is a 100-foot hose. This right here is a retractable 100-foot hose that I personally love, and it's very thin. I think it's a 1 1/4, or I don't know what exactly dimension it is. I just have to reel it out, but it's very thin. This is our air. This is our extension for plug-in. Then we have a 50-foot vacuum. This right here is super convenient, so that we have to roll it all up and put it inside the van. And we have a very slim profiled MTM gun. This right here, as you can see, has been used and abused, but is my favorite. It's very lightweight, and it has like a nice ergonomical feel to it. Then this is what also MTM also has, is a very safe tip that's rubberized that I would recommend everyone to have, because if not, this is not sitting on properly and it shoots out. This can do a lot of damage on a glass or even paint on anything of a vehicle. But now we have this safety low feature, so that way it never happens. Then in this bottom corner, we have a Champion 4500 watt generator. This is on a slide out. Bam! Don't mind that this little piece is hanging. Some of the guys tend to go ahead and not turn off the battery feature or the wireless feature, so the battery runs low, so we kind of have to little jump start at this thing. So it's a little janky on this side, but it's on purpose. Then we go ahead and put this back in there. Then in this corner, I haven't put some of the towels away, but you ready for you guys? We have I'm not gonna say this, but as you can see, this is where we put all of our towels that we already used inside of here. Another fire extinguisher for safety. Then in the center, we have a blow GT. This right here is the best blower that I personally love, because this thing blows hot air and it blows a lot of air at the same time. And this small package is very quiet. That's what a lot of things you don't have. You have a lot of those features and then it gets super loud. So something I would recommend a lot of you guys to pick up. This right here is our Honda GX250. This right here is our signature thing we used way back when we started. Trooper. But this right here doesn't go ahead and get used too much because we're gonna run around in gas. We go in our little EV mode. We kind of just go ahead and use a lot of the electricity to run that Krenzel. But this right here, I use for going off-roading trucks, a lot of mud, or if I'm going to clean some type of concrete on the floor for a client. But that's the only thing we'll use. We have a little fill up right here for our water, our buckets, whatever we need. Then that pretty much wraps up the van here, guys. Now, if you guys had any more questions, go ahead and leave it down in the comments. Whatever style videos you guys have been asking for or even thinking about that we should go ahead and start doing more, leave it down in the comments also. But now for the next video, we're gonna go ahead and be showing you guys just a quick little glimpse, but our new shop. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that post notifications for the next video that comes out. So thank you guys. PSA guys, love you all. You guys see me at SEMA, don't forget to tag me, take pictures with me, because I love all of that as much as you guys want to go ahead and take pictures with me. I love even seeing that on your guys' Instagrams. So October 31st, all the way I believe to the 4th, we're going to be at SEMA at Buff and Shine booth. Don't forget that, please. Go ahead and stop by, share some love with us. So see you guys then. Now, if you guys are attending, we're going to be having some stickers. We're going to have maybe some merch also. So don't forget to go ahead and mention this when you guys see us. See you guys in the next one.